Who are the worst players in recent history to win Rookie of the Year? Let's get into this. Each and every season, new rookies are being drafted or coming into the NBA undrafted. And the goal for each and every rookie is first and foremost to have a great career overall, play in the NBA for years to come, and just start winning in the NBA. That's their overall true goal. But in the immediate future, in the rookie season, basically every rookie's dream and goal is to win that Rookie of the Year award. When you look in the past and you look at other Rookie of the Year award winners, you're talking about players who are all-time greats, absolute superstars in this league, all-stars, and other players that are just a tick under that all-star level, but overall just had a very great long NBA career in this league. One of the most difficult things to do in sports is talent evaluation. Even the best of the best have trouble at finding players coming out of college and knowing that they're going to become superstars or at the very least all-stars coming into the NBA. But when the player that you drafted becomes Rookie of the Year in their first season, that is typically a great sign for things to come. And typically if your player you drafted does win that Rookie of the Year award, they're typically going to go on to have a great career. That's what the history has told us. But although obviously if your player wins Rookie of the Year in that first year, typically what that means is their career is going to be a great career going forward, but that's not always the case. There always are a few outliers, and let's talk about a few of those. So the first guy that comes to my mind when we're talking about a player who won Rookie of the Year in recent memory, but didn't actually end up turning out to have a great NBA career, is Michael Carter-Williams. Although this is not happening as much as it used to in the past, when you look back at the past and you look at all the all-time greats and you look at their rookie seasons, you could tell that a lot of these players did end up coming on pretty slowly. They started out pretty slow, it just takes some time to adjust to the NBA, and eventually when they really get those years under their belt, then they really completely break out and become the stars that we all know and love at this time. But for MCW, that was the complete opposite. In his first ever game against the Miami Heat, who at that time had that big three of LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, he absolutely went off. In his first career game, he actually got a triple-double, and at that point going forward, everybody thought that MCW could be a very good player for years to come going forward in this league. And overall, MCW just had a very good rookie season, averaging 17 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, and 6.3 assists per game on 40% shooting. Now first, keep in mind that MCW is a point guard averaging 6.2 rebounds per game, so obviously first of all, that's amazing, but also considering he was averaging 17 points per game when coming into the NBA, not only was he not known as a scorer, but this is all the way back in 2013, before stats were really inflated. Now if MCW was averaging those stats this season, currently in 2021 or 2022, it would be far less impressive because a lot of the stats now are completely inflated, and even rookies who aren't that great are putting up pretty decent numbers. But putting up those numbers back then is just that much more impressive and just shows how good MCW was in his rookie season. MCW was actually getting some comparisons to Oscar Robertson just due to the fact that he was a pretty tall point guard, but also he was a great rebounder, great passer, and obviously could score the ball, and was just kind of looked at as a triple-double machine potentially if he really put in that work, and he was definitely going in that direction. But one of the biggest weaknesses of MCW was his jump shot, but even in his rookie season, somehow he was actually shooting a great percentage in general from three-point range, mid-range, and also from the free throw line. So it was crazy how everything was just working out well for MCW, and even if his weaknesses were not weaknesses anymore in his rookie year. But basically everybody thought that MCW had a very bright future going forward just based on how he was able to perform in his rookie season and winning that Rookie of the Year. But unfortunately for MCW, his rookie season ended up being his best season in his NBA career. In MCW's second season in the NBA, his numbers took a little bit of a dip, but overall they were still pretty good numbers, averaging 15 points per game, 6.2 rebounds per game, and actually boosting up his assist numbers to 7.4 assists per game on a slightly below 38% shooting from the field. But even though MCW's numbers definitely dipped very slightly in his second season, they were still amazing numbers, and MCW was still a very, very good player and had a very promising future going forward at this point. And most people chalk this up to just a second year slump, which we do see with a lot of players, especially now, where they kind of just struggle in their second season because other players in the NBA start to figure them out a little bit, but after they make that second adjustment, they'll be good going forward, and most people thought that MCW just needed some more time, and he was going to make that adjustment to the NBA. But unfortunately for MCW, that adjustment never ended up coming. His numbers kept dipping every season, slightly until it completely started to accelerate his declines, and NBA teams realized that MCW just was not the same player that he was in his rookie season, until until eventually his lowest point was actually in 2018 with the Houston Rockets, where he only got 9.1 minutes per game, averaging 4.3 points per game, and basically no other stats. And at this point, MCW went from a player who was a very good player and a very promising future in his rookie season and actually won the Rookie of the Year award, and a lot of people thought that this guy could potentially be a superstar and all-star going forward in his career, to a player that barely gets any minutes coming off the bench for the Houston Rockets and was in danger of getting cut from an NBA team and no other NBA teams wanting to pick him up, and he would have to go play in China or some other league. But luckily for MCW, he did found somewhat of a role for himself as a player coming off the bench who's a very good NBA defender. He could also somewhat create for himself, getting all the way to the basket. He's a decent finisher when he gets there, but there's a lot of deficiencies in his game, and that's basically all he is at this point in his career. But MCW is certainly nowhere near the ability that he was in his rookie season, or also certainly nowhere near the potential that he had going forward after that rookie season. But now let's move on to the next player, which is Tyreke Evans. In my opinion, the first guy that I personally think of when you're talking about a player who had an amazing rookie season but really didn't do much after that is Tyreke Evans. In Tyreek's rookie season, he averaged 20 points per game, 45% from the field, 5.3 rebounds per game, and 6 assists per game. So coming into his first season and the way he played in his rookie season, he was obviously a great scorer. Coming out of college, everybody knew he was a great scorer. But the thing that we learned is, first of all, he was able to transition his scoring ability from college to the NBA seamlessly, and he was still able to put up buckets as efficiently as he was in college. But he was also a pretty good rebounder as well as a pretty good passer, and he was getting a good amount of assists for a guy who's a great scorer in this league as well. And after winning the Rookie of the Year award, people had a lot of confidence of this guy going forward and thought this guy could be a great player and an absolute superstar going forward, similar to MCW. Pretty similar to MCW in the sense that a lot of people thought this guy could be an absolute superstar, but his career didn't end up turning out the way he would like to. Also in a similar fashion to MCW, after his rookie season, in his second season, his stats came down a little bit, but not that significantly. But every season after that, it started to come down more and more and more until eventually there's a breaking point. And for Tyreke Evans, his low point was actually in the 2016 NBA season, where he only averaged 9.5 points on 18 minutes per game. And from a guy who was in his rookie season, won Rookie of the Year, and was seen as a guy who could potentially be one of the greats in terms of his scoring ability, to a guy coming off the bench not playing that many minutes anymore, it was definitely a far fall for him. But luckily for Tyreke Evans, he was able to figure out and accept his new role as a guy coming off the bench and just being an absolute bucket. And by the way, that's a very good career path. We've seen players in the NBA be very successful with that career path. And the first person you think of when you talk about that is a guy like Lou Williams, who's an absolute bucket coming off the bench. Jamal Crawford was also that same type of guy, that six-man guy who's just an absolute bucket. And Tyreke Evans was definitely becoming one of those guys. And actually in the 2017 NBA season, he actually had a complete breakout year, averaging 20 points per game on 30 minutes per game. But that seemed to be only a one-year wonder again, when the following season his stats went all the way down to 10 points per game in 2018, and that was actually the last time he played in the NBA, which was 2018. So when you're talking about a guy like Tyreke Evans, who was potentially one of the greats in terms of his scoring ability, to a guy who was completely out of the NBA by 2018, that was definitely not what he expected and not what a lot of NBA fans expected when he got drafted. But that's basically where Tyreke Evans is at this point in his career. He hasn't played since the 2018 NBA season, and a lot of fans are wondering if he's ever going to make an NBA comeback. I personally think he has the talent to, but we'll see if he actually does. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who do you personally think is the worst player to win Rookie of the Year? Do you agree with my picks in recent memory in Michael Carter-Williams and Tyreke Evans, or do you think it's somebody else? But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe and hit that post notification bell. It really helps me out a lot. Until the next time, peace out, guys.